Hey up folks, welcome back to Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition, and this is episode 8, I want to say episode 8, hopefully I've got that right. Yeah, so we've actually got another party member now, and if you've been following along with me and making the same choices that I've been making, then you should also have Glenn in your party too. Doesn't have to be this way, you know, you could have other party members, you could even have Kid still at this point. But obviously that's not the situation for us for various reasons that we won't go into. Namely, Kid is, you know, on death's bed, so not looking good for her right now. Yeah, that's nothing to do with us though, is it? We just didn't step in to save her. I'm sure we can't take the blame. Anyway, enough of that. A couple of things I've done off screen, and I recommend that before you go into this next area, you do the same as well. First of all, the obvious, make sure you go through enough battles in order to have maxed out your minimum stat gains, okay, for this star level, especially for Glenn, because he will be a new addition to your team. I would also recommend just seeing if you can upgrade your equipment at the smith, forge some iron equipment if you can, etc., and have some elements equipped of the white variety, which would go down nicely in the upcoming boss fight. Okay, folks, well, without any further ado, let's head in to the burned out Hermit's hideout. This is technically optional, but, well, let's be honest, optional isn't optional for us, is it? Because we're doing everything. And as we come into this place, I'll take the opportunity to thank all of you for watching so far, and especially a big thank you to everybody that's been supporting my channel as patrons and YouTube members. That is very kind of you guys. And look who it is. It's Harley. So a bit of flirting, of course. The obligatory flirting that we get between Harley and Serge, although it tends to be one-sided, if we're honest, doesn't it? We'll go ahead and select Helmit. And just to clarify that Harley here will be our boss fight, and you won't get an option to recover or, you know, do anything after you come into this location, which is why I told you to do all of that good stuff as we actually, or before we actually came in here. Okay, right, so Harley has about 400 HP. She has the element innate of black, so what we're going to do is start by unleashing our physical attacks. As you can see, it's just the usual, really. And we'll heal when need be, along with chuck out a couple of white elements, as we're able to do. So, to be honest with you, we're doing so much damage just with our physicals nowadays because of the weapons that we've got equipped and stuff that... Is it really needed to use elements? Well, I don't know. Maybe for Glenn. He's still a little weak. He's only got a copper sword. I wanted to forge the iron sword for him, but I couldn't. So I didn't have enough iron, despite disassembling a whole bunch of stuff. Although, Poshel here should do some nice damage. Yep, look at that. Oh yeah, 50 damage with her 3 attack. And Harley is already in her weak stance. So, I don't know, maybe we'll finish her off here with Serge's attacks, as long as we don't get any misses. Yeah, it looks like it. Very easy boss fight. Very easy. No healing, no elements necessary. Obviously, you know, if for whatever reason you went down a different path and you have Kid with you, you can also attempt to steal from Harley. And a good tip that people keep leaving in the comments, one I always forget, is that in Chrono Cross you can actually escape from bosses. You can escape from every battle. Okay, so just another area where you need to try and lay aside those Final Fantasy biases that you bring with you. At least, you know, biases that I bring with me. Photon Beam. Yeah, as an optional fight, there's actually no star level here for this boss. But don't worry, there's still plenty of those to come. Yeah, so this is the old fogey that Harley was looking for. Radius. This is a very vibrant location, isn't it? Yeah, a bit of a villain, that Lynx, isn't he? Poisoning our friends and just getting involved in all kinds of mean stuff. Right. So we will automatically follow Radius and continue on with our enthralling conversation. Well, once we go over and speak to him again, that is. Ah, makes sense, makes sense. Yeah. One for the quiet life. Yeah, he definitely sounds like he's up to no good, that Lynx fella, doesn't he? Well, it's always nice to get a free rest, isn't it? And that pretty much sums up this optional location. So I don't even believe there's any items for us to loot here. Unless I'm misremembering something. You guys let me know in the comments if I have missed anything. But I really don't think there is. Yeah, so we can say hello again. Good morning. And that's pretty much it. We're going to move on to the actual story destination. Which is not far. It's close by. But the reason we did this now, okay, even though it was an optional visit, is once we go to the next part of the story, which we're about to do, it actually locks this part of the story, this optional bit of story, off completely. You can never do it. So it's a very small window you have to come here and see that bit of content and have that boss fight against Harley. Yeah, even though you don't really get much for it, you know, it is the only time you've got to do it, really. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Now, in order to move on, we're going to head over here. We can actually dock over on this shore as well, but we're not coming over here yet. This is the Isle of the Damned. We will be visiting the Isle of the Damned in a while, but for now we're just going to ignore that place and move into this mist. So this is kind of like a temporary point of no return. Once we choose to head into the fog, we are going to be continuing on with the story with no way back out again for a while. So let's go ahead and do that. Just make sure you are all fully prepped. I would recommend having revive and the recover all elements equipped on your party, because there's going to be a few bosses that we need to take on, and we do not want people dying in boss fights because they will miss out on star levels, and that's bad. Okay, if you miss out on star levels, you will likely want to restart from the last save. Hence the reason why just having revive equipped is a big deal. Anyway, here is the mysterious ghost ship known as the S.S Invincible, and it's effectively our next dungeon. Make sure you've got all your characters prepped before this bit, because we're not going to be able to do anything now apart from go through dialogue before the next few fights. Why, oh why does it have to be pirates? And meet Captain Fargo, the chain-smoking desperado in charge of this ragamuffin crew. Well, he seems a little concerned that we may be working for links which we're not. We're going after him. Well, the good news is that seems to have just diffused the situation a little bit. But of course, they're not going to let us off that easy. Fargo wants to make sure before we go risking our life chasing after links that we're up to that kind of challenge. And what better way to test us than with a few battles here? And that's exactly what's going to happen. Right, so our first battle is against 3 pirates. Fairly easy in all honesty. Just bear in mind... no, I do believe we get to heal after this first fight from the... not from the menu screen, but from the, you know, the post-battle screen. But still, it's probably not a bad idea not to finish on low HP. Right, this should finish this guy off. Yep, they're not all that difficult, let's be honest. And with Glenn, he doesn't have any elements. What? Oh, it's because I haven't built up his level. I was panicking then, thought I hadn't equipped any. No, it's just because he can't cast them yet. I thought he'd already attacked. I'm tired, you'll have to excuse me. Although it wouldn't be a Fuzzfinger video without at least one boomer moment. Yeah, I would like to replace Glenn's weapon at some point in the near future. That would be very helpful. And can we finish off? I don't think I've used K9 Ball yet. Nice name for the element, by the way. It's a bit like a Sonic the Hedgehog maneuver, isn't it? And down the last one goes. Good stuff. Right, so that wasn't a boss fight, which means no star level for us. Boo-hoo. But the next one will be a boss fight. In fact, the next 2 battles will be boss fights. Next up, it's against this evil-looking parrot thing. It's the only way I can describe it. Polly. Polly is blessed with 540 HP, has the innate red elements, and has some physical attacks that hit like a truck. So just be ready with the healing, because the next fight will begin without any chance to recover. So when you think you're getting close to killing Polly, there should be a weak or close to death animation or stance. Then again, just make sure you're nicely healed. Right, that attack is nasty, as you can see, 80 points of damage. So we do ideally need to get Poshul healed, because Poshul will not survive the next attack. Although I don't want to use Surge and waste his physical abilities. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to use Glenn. Oh, no, Glenn doesn't have... Oh, he's only got... Oh, he's got Recover All. Oh, I've put it in with Meteorite. Not to worry. I'm thinking, though, that we won't be able to use this now for the next 2 encounters, including this one. Which is kind of annoying if that's the case. But let's see. I'm going to go ahead and cast Aqua Beam here. The boss is innate red. I think I mentioned that, so... Should be a fairly good ability to use. On the other hand, maybe not. That was terrible. What a waste of Poshal's turn there. Right, let's just continue on laying on the physicals, because right now that seems to be where it's at. And this boss seems to have a pretty mean evade. Yep, another nasty flap attack here. Ouch. Okay. X-Strike should... Oh, no, we don't want to use X-Strike here, but we can use that on the next boss, because the next boss is innate blue. Yeah, I'm going to actually just go ahead and heal up here on Glenn. Although, unfortunately, it's not the best heal. So, let's do another tablet. And we're likely to have to face another wrap. I really need to clear off the field if we can. I'm going to go ahead with K9 Ball. I know this isn't the best element to use, but the all-red field is bad for us. So we've managed to just put a bit of yellow in there, which is good for us. Let's just take more of that red out. And we're going to have to attack now in order to gain some stamina back on our other party members. Nice. Back to full again. Okay, that wasn't the worst. Let's just continue to lay on the physicals here. I've got to say, this is a bit of a tough boss, you know. Don't take things for granted in this fight at all. Okay. Okay, we do heal up. Yeah, at the post-battle we'll get to heal up. Okay, so we get our star level, which is helpful because we get a bunch of stats now going forward, of course. We'll do max healing. Oh, no, we didn't heal up because I'd already used Recover All, and that was the only healing I had. Gah! Okay, well, we do need to be careful then. Yeah, the only downside is that we don't get to make use of any of the minimum stat gains because we've got a new star level, but we also have to fight Fargo now, who is also a boss fight for another star level, and we don't get any break in between. Now, Fargo is innate blue. Okay, so any red elements will hopefully be useful. I am going to need to heal quite quickly, I feel, though. Let's start by building up some levels, shall we, for our elements here. 23. Okay, the thing with Fargo, don't underestimate him, is what I will say. He's not the strongest boss at the start of the fight, but as the fight goes on, he does get tougher. And some of the abilities he starts to use are going to be really, really detrimental to our well-being. And he likes to buff himself as well. So yeah, just don't underestimate this guy. And make sure you heal up. So on Glenn's next turn, we are going to be casting Recover. Yeah, look at that double attack. That is cruel. Unfortunately, Recover only does about 50, but at least it does it on every party member, which is helpful. And yeah, Poshul does actually have an element of the red variety, I believe. Let me just check. Oh no, she's got Aqua Beam. Electro Jolt might not be terrible. Adds a bit of flavour to the field colours anyway. Okay, Electro Jolt is terrible. Yeah, we'll just be sticking to physicals with Surge. Okay, he's already in his weak state. Oh, nasty crit. Nasty crit. I thought I had a red element equipped on somebody. I must have missed it. How irritating. Well, let's go for K9. We can't do that at level 1. Fair enough. Who's this going to hit? Oh, not Post Shield, the weakest of them all. Oh, no, it's on Surge. That's fine. He should survive okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll just stick to physical attacks. Should be able to finish this guy off. Yeah. To be honest, I feel that the previous boss fight, despite its lower HP max, was a little tougher than Fargo. But hey, double star levels, so we've come out of this with a nice boost of stats, haven't we? Yeah, not too bad at all. Oh no, poor Surge. Yes, indeed, there is something going on outside. A real ghost ship? No way. A real ghost ship with actual ghosts. And another forced encounter. But don't worry, this is pretty much just a standard fight, so... Not that you should underestimate it, of course. But as you can see, they go down pretty darn fast. Yeah, so I'm guessing these skeletons aren't benevolent. Down it goes. Yep, we're gaining our mini stat gains once more, which is nice. And now we can actually explore the ship. So let's save, first of all, of course. Now, we are going to go exploring. There are a bunch of items we can loot in this boat slash dungeon, whatever you want to call it. To start with, we're just going to speak to this guy here. And he will give us a bit of information. Well, I mean, not that he knows a whole lot himself, of course. I was actually going to think about finishing up for the episode and then do the dungeon part of the experience next time. But I know some of you have been after longer episodes, so yeah, let me know in the comments what you prefer. If you want 30-minute episodes or if you want 45, 50-minute episodes. Obviously, you know, you get more done in an episode if they're longer, but it also means that they're going to be slightly less frequent on the uploads. So, I don't mind either way, but you guys let me know your preference, and I'll be sure to take it into consideration. Okay. So, what we need to do is rescue some of these pirates. And in order to do that, we just need to defeat the enemies, of which there are a few. We're going to speak to this guy again. He should tell us about the fact that there's somebody in charge of the key, but he doesn't know who it is, because if you look, the door is locked. Okay, we can't access it. So what we're going to do first of all, well, from this point, is head into this room here. There's an item that we can nab, along with another little enemy with a pirate, so we need to kill the enemy. By the way, these enemies here, these skeletons, they're good to kill on the basis that they can actually drop iron, okay? Which is obviously a good thing. We need it for crafting. So let's speak to this guy. Okay, that will trigger the boss, not the boss fight, but the enemy encounter. Yeah, I actually got 2 iron from that fight. Now, some of the enemies around here, the wraiths in particular, can actually drop leather once you've defeated them. So you can effectively get all of the materials you need to craft the, the iron equipment for all of your party members, depending on how much time you want to spend farming here, which is really nice. So yeah, I would spend a little bit of time doing that. Now, just run up onto the workbench, and there we can grab the aqua ball element. Again, that's all there is to do in here. This guy doesn't have the key, so we can just choose to ignore him now. And we can go ahead, and where's the other guy gone? There was another guy here, but I think he disappears if we go in that room. Well, he's not important either, but you can speak to him as well before he disappears. Over here, we have a fire pillar element. There will be a battle against a wraith as well. These doors are locked, but there is a ladder here that we can climb to reach the next floor. And there's a couple more items we're going to be able to nab up here as well. I'm going to start by going, well, into battle here. Okay, if we go into this room, first of all, which is the only room that we can currently access that is unlocked, we have, well, another fight. There's a wraith hiding in the background here, of course. Yeah, killing those wraiths. Bit of leather won't go amiss, that's for sure. Yeah, so we can open the chest here, which is easily accessible. And we can also speak to this guy. But again, he's not going to be the key person. But he does give us a little tip that we can climb through the vent here. So just approach it and tap the confirm button. And that will allow you to shimmy through to the next area, where there's another pirate, no doubt another encounter. Along with the all-important chest. Well, actually not that important, but it's there, so we're going to loot it. And then there's a couple more people that we can speak to as well. You will have to have a battle with another skeleton as well. Well, you know, there's a skeleton here which gives you a battle of a few enemies. And another person that doesn't have the key. Feel like we're just hitting dead end after dead end. How peculiar. Yeah. 5 minutes of recording I just did got corrupted. I'm not sure how that happened. I need to look into that because I don't want that happening again. That's annoying. What I just did, though, I'll have to just guide you through it, is speak to this guy here. Speak to him a couple of times, and he will point you in the direction of the pirate that holds the key that we need. Now, in my case, it was this guy right here. As far as I understand, it usually is. But it's possible it can be one of the other pirates. So just pay attention to what he says to know which pirate that it is. And then you go up to that pirate, in my case this guy, and you speak to him a couple of times and they will give you the key. Okay, once you've got the key, we need to make our way back down below decks because you'll remember that that is where the locked door is that we need to access. So it's a simple case of retracing our steps, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. At least it wasn't much of the recording that was lost. Probably about 1.5 minutes, but still, it's annoying. Yeah, we're going down the ladder, but I haven't spoke to this guy yet. See if he's got anything to say for himself. No, not really. All of these other doors we can't access, so don't worry about that. You're not missing out on anything. And, yeah, this is the... no, this is the locked one, isn't it? Yeah, get these confused. It's this one that we want to go to. And the reason we want to go here first is if we speak to the pirate that we saved, he will give us some more iron. Now, he will only do this once we've got the key. Okay, that's why we didn't do it before. So just make sure you speak to him before proceeding. And of course, we have the beautiful Record of Fate. Save point, as I would call it. Right, so let's see now if we can go outside. Which, well, spoiler alert, we can. We got the key. Oh, let's just avoid that wraith for now. It's mainly just so I don't have to edit it out. But there are a few battles that I am still going to have to edit out for your guys' sanity. Yeah, you'll see there's a chest there, but we need to go around to access it. It's very easy to get. We do just need to come outside. Now, okay, this guy here will offer us a drink. Don't take it, in my opinion, because it can heal you up, but it can also poison you. Yeah, it says you'll put hairs on your chest. That's one way of saying it. I would personally avoid it. Unlike these encounters. Oh, by the way, those little round spidery creatures, the ones, they always seem to remind me of the spider thing from the movie, The Thing. They can also drop iron. Okay, and they seem to do so quite regularly as well. So just a little note for some of the farmers out there that want to stock up on that stuff. And speaking of which, here they are. Yeah, quite a few enemies in this room that you'll want to take care of. I think I've got them all, so I can show you everything here without being interrupted. The thing you're going to note, of course, are the fact there's 2 treasure chests. So let's just go ahead and grab those. Don't worry, I haven't missed the little fluffy guy. That's the guy that we were freeing earlier on from the lab. Okay, hopefully if you're following along, you did that. Okay, so with those items in tow, let's go and speak to him. We can actually recruit this thing as our next party member, but it's not going to be easy. Well, it's not that hard, to be honest with you. We just have to chase him around for a little bit. So just keep approaching, and when they, to their hiding place, and just tapping the confirm button. And then eventually, we'll get introduced to Pip properly. And we just need to keep speaking to Pip until eventually Pip will join our group. Yep, Pip is now a fully fledged member of Sergi's team. Although, we're not going to be using Pip right now, as I'm quite happy with our current setup. But hey, another member added to the roster, so it's all good. Alright, super. So I think we've done everything that needs to be done in terms of the dungeon exploration and stuff. If I have missed anything, which I don't think I have, but if I have, then please do let me know in the comments. And don't forget, guys, to just, even if you don't post anything, just always check the comments to these videos. Because occasionally, I might fluff something up and not notice. And some of the resident experts around here will actually let you know, okay? So the comments are a great place just to confirm and double confirm that you're not missing out on anything that I might have screwed up on. So let's go. Oh, there's one more chest. See, I forgot about this, containing the photon beam. This is the chest we saw earlier, and we can now actually access it. And at this point, we can head back outside. We have our save points, our record of fate, indicating there's more than likely a boss fight coming up. There is. So at this point, it is worth just remembering to make sure that you, at the very least, have gained all your minimum stat gains from the normal enemies. There's really no reason you wouldn't have completed that for this star level by this point. But also, if you do want to farm any additional iron or leather, now is definitely the time to do it, because we're going to be finishing up. So let's go ahead now and make our way towards the top deck. There we will be greeted by the usual set of cutscenes, followed by a battle. I presume, if I remember, it's against these wraiths here. Yeah, there's 3 of them that we'll fight against. And then the boss itself. So the wraiths are normal. Yeah, these wraiths are relentless, aren't they? So we will automatically be sent across to the next screen. And we can't go back, so that's why I said to make sure you get your farming done that you want to get done. And then just approach the captain here, who's being molested by 2 more wraiths, but he will deal with those. However, there is a boss, as you know, coming up. And of course, that's going to be left to us. Aye, Captain. Yeah, we've got to be pirates, haven't we? I mean, Serge has got the bandana for it, hasn't he? Okay, so this is a boss up against a creature known as Dead Head. Well, it looks like a bunch of normal enemies, but they all combine into this giant one. It really is like the Thing, isn't it? This boss has 700 HP. Innate element is black, but I'm not going to go all out with elements. And the reason for that is that this thing does a debuff that is going to reduce the effectiveness of elements by a substantial amount. Now, this is it, diminish, okay? I think all element effects are halved. The good news is that even the boss's elements are halved. However, it doesn't affect physical damage. So, in my opinion, that's what we need to stick to. Now, of course, you know, we may need to heal from time to time, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, he also, or it, also casts a bunch of status effects, which can be pretty darn debilitating, it's got to be said. Okay, we can have the curse status and the darkness status. So we might... I always get statuses confused in every flipping game that I play. I don't want him to fill up the screen with black, so it's probably not a bad idea now to just throw an element into the mix. Again, I think it's still going to be halved because of that ability that was used at the start. But we just don't want a full black screen of colours here. And as you can see, we would have got one. Okay, that's going to be darkness, I presume. Oh, no, that was the curse. Okay. Like I say, I get them confused, but he can cast both of them. So just be careful with your party once you've been cursed. Like with healing and stuff. Because, well, actually, what curse does, just to clarify, because I don't think we've experienced it before, have we? It makes elements, or casting elements, a bit of a nightmare. Because every time you're damaged, or a party member is damaged, it reduces their stamina. And without stamina, elements are a bit of a no-no. And now we have started to get darkness and curse active at the same time, which does make things a lot more challenging. But it looks like we're done. Yep. 700 HP. Physical attacks are the way to go for that one. Even with those curses and darkness status effects being afflicted upon us, physical attacks were just fine. I didn't cast a single element apart from Meteorite, and that was not so much for the damage, but just so that the field screen didn't fill up with black elements from the boss. And that seemed to serve us well. So yeah, not a challenging fight, all things considered. And of course, we get our next star level, so we are now level 11, including a bunch of new stats. We get a house soul. I've already got a few of those. But hey, the more the merrier. And with the boss defeated, yeah, everything's back to normal, it seems. Yeah, I'll take some advice, Fargo. Right, okay. Fargo suggests we go and visit the water dragon. Now, we can do that, but we don't have to do that. It's actually an optional location. But we do optional locations in this walkthrough, so it's really not optional for us. Yeah, very, very deep. From Fargo there. Okay, and we have full control once again. So, before we do anything else, before we go any further, I'm just going to head back, first of all, to Termina. And we're just going to start doing some shopping. We could also go to Guldove. In fact, I am going to go to Guldove, but not just yet. I'm going to go to Termina first, and then we'll go to Guldove after. On second thoughts, Termina's not all that exciting, so we're going to ignore it. Instead, I'm going to take you to a place we haven't yet visited. Okay, this is Marbule. So let's go ahead and disembark. Now, we're only coming here to do a little bit of shopping. How much money do we actually have at the moment? 33,000 gold. Okay, that's not too bad. So, since this is our first visit here, we are going to get a bit of a cutscene. And it seems we're not all that welcome, annoyingly. But that said, we can still go ahead and explore. So let's select buy something here. This is the element shop. Now, these are trap elements, okay? Trap elements have this little symbol next to them. And what trap elements do, we haven't really used them yet, is they don't give you the actual element, but once you equip them, they can trap the element when an opponent uses it in battle. So let's say we equip the Inferno trap. Okay, in battle, one of the enemies casts Inferno. What happens is the element on that cast is nullified so that our party takes no damage from Inferno, and the trap picks it up. And then we get to keep Inferno forever as a copy of it, like any other element. So traps are a fantastic way of grabbing rare elements that you can get from various enemies and bosses in the game. That's how they work. Now you know. And as you can see, there's plenty here as well. So, a couple of normal elements that you might want to pick up include Magnify and Diminish, which we've already seen. So let's go ahead and pick up just one of these for now, of each. It doesn't hurt to have one of those. Just bear in mind that these do affect every party member and every enemy on the screen. So if you cast Magnify for additional elemental damage, just be aware that your opponent's elemental damage will also be increased. Okay, and yeah, like I say, you might want to pick up some trap elements. Next up, we're going to head back, as I say, to Guldove. There's a couple of new items we can see at the shop there as well. In order to access the element shop in Guldove, we just need to head up the ladder. So that little guy there that you saw that we just ran past, well, he's not that little, but he's a guy. You can do some crafting, but he doesn't have some good options in terms of iron and that, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. We're going to head into this building. Yes, and speak to this person here. Okay, this is the shop. And there's a number of elements here that you're likely going to be interested in. But the two I'm going to draw to your attention are Recover All, since we do have one of those, but having another couple is not going to go amiss. There's also Cure Plus, which you may be interested in. It's only a single target, but, you know, it's better than Cure, which is what we had previously. And on top of that, there is also a kind of upgrade to Meteorite, Meteor Shower, which is an area of effect version of the spell. So let's go ahead and buy 3 of those as well. And there's some buffs which you may want to check out. Strengthen, some debuffs as well. Along with Nimble, which boosts evade and defense with the high and low res, and just a lot of good stuff that you may be interested in. So I'm going to stock up on a couple of these as well. Now, back at the entrance, it's time to grapple with our conscience and get an update on Kid, since we decided not to save her. We'll see what's going on with her, shall we? So we're going to head back into the clinic here for some cutscene action. And what's this? Kid has gone, and the bed has been made. Well, what do you know? Thinking the worst? It looks like Kid's back up on her feet. Kid is so stubborn she doesn't even let poison kill her. Although I suspect there's more at play here. Well, this is interesting. So the Hydra Humour, the item that we were told was 1 in a million we were never going to be able to get, so we just left Kid to die instead, so we could crack on with our adventure. Somebody just popped in and happened to have it. After we'd left. It certainly seems as if there's somebody watching over us, doesn't there? Okay, so at this point, Kid is going to join the party. Now, because we visited her at this time, we're also going to get the option to allow Doc to join the party. Which, of course, we're going to accept. But if you come later, you can actually, or if a little bit later on in the game, you can recruit Kid if you don't recruit her now. But you can't recruit Doc. So just something to bear in mind. Okay? Doc is missable. Kid will join later, as I say, but not Doc. We'll say, yes, I remember. So it seems we have our next destination, which of course we had anyway in mind. But the water dragon is an optional location, as I mentioned, but not for us. Since I'm doing everything, or everything that we can do in lieu of the choices that we're making in the game. You know, there's so many different ways to play Chrono Cross. I think that's why the new Game Plus is so popular with this game, because, and why it's needed if you really want to explore everything. you have to do multiple playthroughs. And if you want to recruit all party members, you have to do multiple playthroughs. If you chose to save Kid earlier, you would have had this amulet. But you'll remember because we chose not to, we gave it back. But what this amulet will allow is for us to hop between the two dimensions. The original world that Surge came from, and this strange alternate reality in which we find ourselves. Now, there's actually reason to do this, even apart from the story, because there's various side quests and optional content that can only be completed in each specific reality. So we're going to be making use of this amulet going forward. Yep, and Kid rejoins. So we won't get to rename her, but we will get to reorganise our party, which I'm just going to keep for the same again for now. And it looks like our adventure awaits. No, wrong way. We needed to go down, not across. Yeah, so we've got the dragon place to go to. We've also got the amulet so that we can switch back to the other world or the home world, and we are going to be doing all of that next time. Okay, I think this is a good opportunity to finish the episode, so thank you so much for those of you that have watched today. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough. I know many of you are, and I certainly am, which is good. So I'm looking forward to continuing with you guys, and congratulations if you've made it this far. We're having a bit of a blast now, aren't we? And we're starting to get on top of things. But we've still got a ways to go, of course, so yeah, please do come back for the next episode and we'll continue on. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, just to be notified of when those future episodes do go live on the channel. Thank you once more to everybody who supports me on Patreon, or as a YouTube member. Your support really does mean a lot. It is very much appreciated, and you are all legends. Alright guys, well, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon for more Chrono Cross.